Risk management. Most traders get killed by fish. Two causes of trader mortality. You know those guys. Right? On the left, you see a shark. You put in a trade, you lose 40% of your account. And that trade, it's like a swimmer or a surfer who lost an arm or a leg. Basically, their swimming, surfing career is finished. Fortunately, in trading, it's not physical damage, so you can refund your account, fund your account again, I should say, and be back in business. But that particular account is dead after suffering a shark bite. The fish on the right is piranha. It's a tropical river fish from South America. Nasty, but not deadly by itself, because it's only about as big as two hands together. But the trouble with piranhas, they attack in packs, and a bull walks into the water, gets bitten by a piranha, takes a small loss, but he is a man. He is tougher than that. He can wait it out, so he stays in the water. You know, female would have gotten out of the water much quicker, but he is tough, so he stays and he doubles up and he gets eaten alive by the piranhas. 5 minutes later, only bones floating downhill. So piranha bites are a series of nasty losses, none of which is deadly, but together they add up to a deadly outcome. So we'll talk about two causes of trader mortality, the role of a manager, and money management rules. So what do we do with this fish business? We have rules. We have rules. Crossing the street, first you look left, then you look right. I mean, there are rules which are clear as a day. There are certain things which I just insist on you having. And one of them is this, the 2% rule. Never risk more than 2% of your account equity in a single trade. How does it work? Well, let's come back to that IWM trade. We're buying at 114 something. Remind me the numbers.
117.05.
We're shorting at 117.05 and we're protecting at 118.05, right? A dollar risk. So give me a number for a trading account. $50,000. $50,000 is a wonderful size for a new trader account. It allows you to diversify, but it's not too crazy big. You want to have a good size account, and then you add to that account when you earn an increase. So if you're trading well, you have this reserve capital, you add reserve capital. But if you're not trading well, if you're losing money on $80,000, why would you want to lose money on $120,000? So back to the trade, IWM. So we're shorting at 117.05. We're protecting at 118.05. We're risking $1. And we have a $50,000 account. So according to the 2% rule, how much are we allowed to risk on this trade? We can risk $1,000. Does it include commissions and slippage and all of that? Complete, okay. So how many shares can we buy then in that case? 1,000 shares. 1,000 shares of $115,000 or sell short. Actually, we're short in 14. We're going to be pretty heavily margined on that trade. Yeah. Let's do it with options instead. No. The 2% limit is really an extreme limit to go that you cannot go beyond, but you don't have to go to that limit. Why don't we do 200 shares or 300 shares? Okay. That should keep us busy enough of the streets. And also what it will do, trading a smaller size will reduce our level of pressure, our level of tension that we feel. Trading is an old man's game, now increasingly a woman's. No rush. Get good first, and then if you know how to trade 200 shares, you can trade 1,000 shares later. So trade small. In any case, I have this picture. I call it the iron triangle of risk control. ABC. A is how much you plan to risk on this trade. I mean, if you have $50,000, you probably should not be risking 1,000. It's an extreme number. If you have a trade that just has steam coming out of your ears, maybe that. Otherwise, make it a smaller trade. B is the distance from your entry to your stop in dollars. In that IWM trade, our distance is $1. So we're allowed to risk 1,000, but let's say we'll only risk $200. We divide $200 by $2, and we get a number of shares we can buy. 200 shares of IWM. Some years ago, I was teaching a class in school where all my kids were, from which all my kids graduated. Was teaching a class called Money and Trading. And I opened a $40,000 account to trade in that class. So I spent several months meeting with the kids, giving them basically what I'm doing here today. And then the rest of the year, we traded my money. A kid comes in and says, brings a stock he wants to buy, $18, where's your stop? $16.50. And I gave the kids a 1% rule. The deal was this: if the group loses money, it's my problem, it's my loss. If the group makes money, I'll give half the profit to school, half the profit will be divided between class members. So here's a question for you. Buy at 18, protect at $16.50. Your maximum risk on a $40,000 account is $400. How many shares are we allowed to buy? Quick. Huh? About 250. Right? This is the iron triangle of risk control. What is the concept of available risk? So many people approach buying and selling stocks from a completely wrong angle. I have $50,000 in my account, and this stock is $90 a share, and I don't want to risk more than 20% of my account. How many shares can I buy? And people are completely serious when they say this absolutely nonsensical stuff. To me, you don't operate from this, I mean, completely superficial and really irrelevant numbers. You operate with what your risk is. You're a trader. You measure risk. If you say, I have a $40,000 account and I allow myself 1% risk, well, you have available risk of $400 a trade. That's page 1. Page 2, the 6% rule. What happens if you have one bad trade after another? You know, maybe your system stopped working. Maybe you have some personal issues and you're just out of gear with the markets. When will you stop? When will you get out of that water with piranhas? 6%. If you experience a 6% drawdown, out of the water for the rest of the month. In that case, your available risk, if you started the month with $50,000 and you allow yourself 6% risk, it means if your equity slips down to 47, out you go. So when you're looking at a trade, your first question is, do I have any available risk? I have so many open trades. This is my open risk on existing positions. This is how much I lost so far this month. Do I have any more available risk?
The 6% is only a drawdown, it's not a gain.
Right, gain, you can gain all you want. Oh, by all means, send me a postcard. Worry about losses. Gains will take care of themselves. You know, and it's just like in life in general. Whenever I'm faced with a difficult situation of any nature, I always ask myself, what is the worst possible outcome? People hate thinking, I hope everything works out fine. Yeah, me too. But what is the worst possible outcome of what's happening just now? Say you have an argument with a friend, or somebody owes you money and they're suddenly unavailable by phone, or you hope for a promotion in a job and things are shaky. Instead of just being nervous and hoping, always ask yourself, what is the worst? Spin that, take today's situation and spin it to its logical conclusion. What is the worst possible outcome? Well, now you're in control. You know what's the worst possible outcome. So whatever happens is going to be better. And you know that the worst is not so bad after all.